Welcome back to another Musume review. Today, we're going to talk about TMO Opera's New Year's skin. She is a 3-star turf. Her strategies are pace or late, her distance is medium long, and she was released January 2026. She has stat bonuses, 14% speed, 8% stamina, and 8% in wit. So now, should you pull her? Well, she can actually be a pretty good parent, and that's because of her unique. But outside of that, I mean, her unique in general, I guess, is good. But for her herself, I think it's better to maybe just use her as a parent. And, just disclaimer, if you do not have the gems and you need to save, I would highly recommend save for the Valentine Bourbon, which is coming out in February 2026, which is this month. I think she might be a better pick for your account, but just letting you know. So let's talk a little bit about what's good about her. Well, first of all, her stat bonuses are in speed, stamina, and wit, which can be pretty good. Remember, she is a medium long, so we do want that stamina. Speed is always good to have. And then wit in particular is probably good for her actually because of her unique, which I will explain in a little bit. Her Awakening 3 is good, actually. I believe it's Swinging Maestro, which we love Swinging Maestro. Everyone loves Swinging Maestro, so I think that's pretty good. Awakening 5 is a big maybe, and I'll explain why. So let's get into her unique, which is pretty interesting. Increase velocity for a moderate duration when in the front of the pack with 400 meters remaining. If at least 7 skills have been activated, greatly increase velocity for a moderate duration instead. So I think this is pretty interesting. It kind of reminds me of base Ogre's unique because they're both sort of saying, hey, when you're like 200 or 400 meters close to the end, increase your target speed. But the big difference between, Ogre's and, TMO Operas is that TMO Operas does activate earlier, it's 400 meters. Second of all, there is a caveat to how much of a push you get. If you don't trigger the effects, then you're only going to get a target increase speed of 0.35. But if you're able to trigger the 7 skills, you will get a target speed of 0.45. With Ogre's, it is 200 meters, so it is way closer to the front of the race, or the end of the race, you could say, but you're guaranteed that sort of 0.45 target increase speed. So it's sort of give or take there. I think TMO Opera might be a little bit better in terms of her unique at that point. It shouldn't hopefully be too hard to trigger it. You also just need to make sure though that you're picking skills that will activate consistently and that you can afford it. So if you're building her and you don't have enough skill points because you're trying to get all those gold skills or something, you may have to say goodbye to the gold skills to get white skills, so you have your at least 7 skills to sort of activate so that you can get this unique to proc. I am getting ahead of myself a little bit because I didn't actually go over the triggers. Mainly for both triggers, you need to have 400 meters left. You also need to be at least the 40% horse or higher. So and then, between the 2 triggers, the difference is how many skills actually activated in total. So again, if 7 activate, then you will get the 0.45. But if 7 do not activate, then you will get the 0.35. That's a 0.1 difference. So either way, you are getting a good target speed increase, but it's the difference between, procking a unique target speed increase or literally just procking another gold increase, because usually gold skills that have velocity will only have 0.35 or 0.25, something like that. I want to get into why the inherited is pretty good. I don't know if you see, but I mean, you should be able to see. The trigger 1 and 2 for the inherited skill, if you're able to proc those 7 skills, your target increase is 0.25. If you don't proc it, then it's 0.15. So you're getting really good increase for procking 7 skills. So these are her skills for, either she gets them innately that you can buy or they're skills from her events. I, first of all, always love when it's some type of strategy and straightaway. So she has pace chaser straightaways. Usually they're really cheap to buy and they proc pretty consistently, so I like that a lot. Feature Act is kind of interesting. It increases your velocity when you're positioned towards the front upon approaching the late race. So what that really actually means is it may proc in the mid race in the second half. So that could be actually pretty good if it does proc. So, I'm up in the air with it. but I think it could be pretty good as long as it actually activates. And then we have her awakening skills. So level 3, really, really good. Swinging Maestro, we love it because it's a gold blue skill, is very consistent usually in terms of activating. So you're getting pretty good, stamina recovery. Headliners is the gold version of featured act that we talked about before. So it's again increasing your velocity when you're approaching the late race, the second half of the mid race. So, again, I'm kind of up in the air with this. I kind of like the idea. As long as it goes off, it's great, right? So that's why I sort of put like a maybe for the level 5. I think that in general, all her awakening skills can be good, so you could put the resources towards it if you're trying to run her. But again, if you're kind of just using her as a parent, then the awakening skills are kind of like up in the air, like what's the point, right? So in general, if you are going to run her, I think level 5 awakening isn't actually that bad and could be useful, but I would definitely recommend at least level 3. So this is actually one of her costume events. The first one, Sprint the Lucky Musume Race. I just wanted to point out that Prepare to Pass is not guaranteed. And then the second one is a secret event. So basically you just need to win the Autumn Triple Crown in either year. So, win those 3 races either in the second or the third year, and you will get a mood up, all your stats plus 10, and skill points plus 20. Her secret event is probably worth going for because it shouldn't be that hard, hopefully. And, you're getting a lot of good stuff out of it, I think. And then finally, just her races. I mean, nothing crazy here. She has aptitude in medium and long, and all her races are basically that. Thank you so much for watching my video on TMO Opera's New Year's skin. If you have any comments or questions, please use the comment section below. Otherwise, I will see you guys later. Bye!